Well, hello. Well, hello everybody. Thanks for tuning in here to Bowl TV and reading through the chat a little bit. I see some folks were antsy to watch some bowling, and we appreciate that. Just wading through some technical difficulties here and able to get something up and running here for the final 3 games of our C squad here on the final day of qualifying. Gonna just get situated. I'll let you watch. Not much for me to say right here. Scoreboards are up. We'll get the standings for you as soon as they're available. Thanks for tuning in here to the 2017 USBC Senior Masters final day of qualifying. After today, we'll cut the field down from 277 to the 63 who will join defending champion Pete Weber in the double elimination match play bracket. Again, we apologize for the delay, but we're back joining you midway through our opening squad for the day. This is game 3 of 5, and this will be the last 5-game block for these bowlers. After this, they'll have their 15 game totals posted, and then we'll wait to see if they can hold on for a spot in match play. Again, thanks for joining us. This is Matt Canizaro, and we'll have continued coverage, hopefully, for the rest of qualifying today. And just sit back and enjoy. Thanks for being here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for game number 4 of this C Squad qualifying, the final day. And after today's 3 rounds, 15 game pinfall totals will determine the 63 bowlers who will join Pete Weber, our defending champion, in the double elimination match play bracket. So here in our featured pairs, 19 and 20, 21 and 22. We are joined by Robert Pullman and Jim Gordon up on 19 and 20 right now. Two-time USBC Masters champ Doug Kent on 21, and Mike Moniak, the Director of Bowling Operations at South Point, up on lane 22. Updated scores now through 3 games coming right up. It appears that Mr. Parker Bohn is on a bit of a tear. Parker bowled very well here at the Senior Masters last year in qualifying. And yesterday ended up with the high block for the day, 1252 after 1157 on the opening day. So things getting progressively better for the left-hander. Finished yesterday with 299. Left a 7-pin. Aaron Smith had a video of that on the official USBC Facebook page. And then Parker started today on the fresh with 289 and 269. He'll have his 3rd game here in just a moment, but holy cow for the left-hander. Leader after 2 days, Brian LeClaire. Averaging 243. Parker Bohn just behind him in the standings after 10 games, but again, Parker having a great day today, so going to the top of the standings, so we'll see how high here in just a minute. All these bowlers getting to experience 3 phases of this 41-foot oil pattern. The fresh, burn, and double burn. They're only oiled once a day, and that is prior to this opening squad. This is C Squad. So they bowled on the double burn on Tuesday. Came back on the burn yesterday, that's the middle squad. And now bowling on the fresh here on day 3. So all competitors bowl 15 games rather than 10 games and then a cashier's round. So everybody bowls 15 games, and we cut the field down from 277 this week to 63 plus defending champion Pete Weber. And Pete, bowling qualifying, regardless, he's guaranteed at least the number 64 spot in the bracket, but by bowling these 15 games, he can improve his seeding. And after 2 days, Pete was 4th. Pete bowling on B Squad. That'll be the final squad of the day today, the double burn. Also on this pair, Robert Warall, a past World Cup champion in the 1980s. How about that? And up on lane 22, Dean Hebner. Joining us on 19, Ed Silva. You're on 21, two-time Masters champ Doug Kent. And the split there after the double to start. Kent enjoyed some recent success in Las Vegas at the USBC Open Championships over at South Point. An exciting day during doubles and singles. Took the lead in doubles with his son, Jacob. And they've since been passed, but what a cool day and a great memory for the Hall of Famer. Now looking to continue that momentum here at the Senior Masters. And once we get the standings up, we'll see who's close. With only a couple games left here for these guys. So after 2 games today, the cut line at plus 114. Still a lot of bowling left to be done here at Samstown Bowling Center today. This is game 4 of 5 for C Squad. A Squad coming up next for its final 5 games, and the day will end with B Squad and defending champion Pete Weber taking the lanes. If you'd like to see the latest standings or get the link to the live scoring, you can visit bowl.com/Senior Masters. Click on the results tab. You can follow your favorite players across the house and see how they're doing in the standings as they're updated each game. Now after 13 games for C Squad, Parker Bohn shooting 797. His first 3 games today is at plus 606, averaging 246. Next closest competitor on C Squad is Brian LeClaire at plus 392. Brian, a little bit of a rough start today as our leader coming in, 194, 160, 204 for 558. He's at plus 392 and in excellent shape for a spot among the top 64. And as the players will tell you, this event really is 2 tournaments in 1. First goal is to survive qualifying, get to the bracket. And at that point, where you're seated doesn't really matter a whole lot. Of course, being the higher seed means you bowled well, had a pretty good command of the lane condition over the week. But when it really comes down to it, at that point, it's just you and your opponent and a single pair of lanes. So whatever everybody else is doing, totally irrelevant. The goal at that point is to beat your opponent by a stick. Simple. And it's going to be 3 game totals. So that's where a lot of strategy comes into play. How you're going to break down the lanes. You're going to be there for 3 games. You guys going to go in and have an idea together? Are you going to base your strategy off what your opponent is doing? If you're lefty, he's righty. You know, a lot of things come into play. But getting there is the first step. And I don't know that most players mind what seed they get, because at that point, you're among the 64 best senior bowlers, age 50 and older. Everybody's going to be pretty good. And if you're going to win this thing, you're probably going to bowl a good bowler or two anyway. Possibly one of the stars. So get there, goal number 1. Brian LeClaire, Parker Bohn are going to be there. Pete Weber's going to be there. So who will the other 61 players be? Other standouts on C Squad. Doug Becker is at plus 330. John DeBenedetta is at plus 328. Sam Lanto, the Hall of Famer, started things off this week with an 8-10 series for his first 3 games. He is hanging around at plus 281. So he got a whole bunch the first day and just hanging on since. But in great position here. Ron Moore, the local standout who we saw win the Super Senior Classic here live on Bowl TV last weekend. If you missed it, check the archives. Ron Moore is at plus 229. Still steady. Had a big final game on day 1 to get into the top 64. Plus 73 that day, plus 83 yesterday, and plus 73 so far today. He's followed by Marv Sargent and Mika Koivuniemi, who had a 300 game yesterday, 1 of 5 for the week here at the Senior Masters. Robert Worrall is at plus 218. Currently that's 22nd in the combined standings. Doug Kent is at plus 159, so he's got some work to do here. After 2 days of qualifying, the 64th position was at plus 117. So just based on that, potentially the cut being around 170, 175 over. If you're following the live scoring, Parker Bohn down on lanes 9 and 10. He's got the front 5 again this game. Had 299 yesterday, final game. He was setting records here last year. Getting progressively better with each round here in 2017. Last year, Parker did set the 15-game pinfall record at 37-12. So breaking that record, a possibility. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him as he rolls through here. Parker Bohn still striking on 9 and 10. He's got the front 7. What a day for him. Our 5-game record at the Senior Masters, 1347, happened back in 1997. 1347. .269 average. And that also within reach for the Hall of Famer. Down on 9 and 10. Parker Bohn, front 8. Up right now, trying to make it 9 in a row. And it looks like he got the 6 pin to go late. He's got the front 9. We're going to head down there in just a minute. See if we can watch the Hall of Famer at work as he tries to put the finishing touches on a record block here at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. In our featured pairs, we're getting ready for the 10th frame. So you guys go ahead and enjoy what's happening here on 19 through 22, and I'll be right back, possibly with some exciting news and a nice little highlight for the official USBC Facebook page. All right, folks, Matt Cannizzaro back at it here at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. Parker Bohn III, 300 in game number 4. He now needs 250. He's one pair to our left, and 250 will get him to the 5-game Senior Masters record of 1347. And we'll do some math, see how close he is or how much is he going to beat his own 15-game qualifying record by. Last year, Parker had 37-12 for 15 games. He's only going to need 206 here in 2017 to beat that number. We got our final bowlers coming up for our featured pairs. And if you do look on the left side of your screen, they're on 17 and 18. Parker Bohn on that pair. All right, here come our bowlers for our final game of the C squad. Good question in the chat. Are we going to see Doug Becker? And Doug Becker actually was on game number 1, I believe, while we were having issues getting our software up and going. So we did miss him for today. But we do have Terry Rohr. Up on our featured pairs right now, Ron Schmidt, Robert Sampson, Terry Rohr, and Tony Johnson. PB3 to our left. Wouldn't be a particularly good angle from here. But Parker starts strike 9. He's going to shoot a 6-pin here on lane 17. Again, he'll need unofficially 250 for the 5-game qualifying record and 206 to break his own 15-game record. As he creeps closer, perhaps it will make sense to turn the camera. We can get around this pillar and see the man finish things off. Also, up on our featured pair, Glenn Morgan. And Parker at the 379 in frame number 3. He's going to need the last 9 here for that 5-game record, but the 15-game mark likely not a problem, so Parker takes 2. 46 in the 3rd, max score of 256. We'll have our next round coming up at noon local time. It's about an hour and a half from now. 3 p.m. on the East Coast. That will be A squad. Our other players here, game number 5, Don Robinson, Gary Allstott, and Bobby Nelson. Again, this is C squad qualifying. Final game. And many of these players will be packing it up and heading home. We'll have A squad coming up next on the burn. 41-foot oil pattern. This is the fresh right now. Then a double burn this afternoon with B squad. 15 game totals will determine the 63 players who will join Pete Weber in the double elimination match play bracket. We'll have match play all day, Friday and Saturday. Match play will start at 9 a.m. local time, noon Eastern. We'll have the left side of the bracket, then a re-oil, then the right side of the bracket. So again, at noon Eastern, so an hour late start tomorrow. Then we'll have rounds at 11:30, 1:30, and 4 p.m. will be the final round for the day. And the Parker update, 9 count, 4th frame. So the 5-game Senior Masters record is safe. That was Don Hargraves in 1997, so 20-year-old record. Gonna hang on for one more day, one more squad. We've got scores after 14 games for C squad. Parker Bohn III leading the way at plus 706. Again, the record for 15 games, plus 712. He's got 1097 for his first 4 games today. 289, 269, 239, 300. Brian LeClaire next on C Squad at plus 395. Doug Becker, the left-hander, plus 366. Johnny D. Benedetta, plus 315. Sam Lanto at plus 250. A little bit of a struggle today, but I don't think there's any concerns of him not making the top 64. Major Mika, Koivuniemi, plus 237. Kevin Croucher, plus 217. Ted Stakeoff, plus 208. And Ron Moore at plus 201. 26 players on the combined standings, plus 200 or better. That includes A and B through 10 and C Squad through 14 games now. And there on the left side of your screen, Parker Bohn, after a double, leaves the 379 again on lane 18. So this pair giving the left-hander some trouble. Of course, no trouble of him making the top 64, which is goal number 1 here this week at the Senior Masters. Also on that pair, Kenny Parks, 2008 Senior Masters champ, and voted best hair at the Senior Masters by Aaron Smith. Here in our featured pairs, things moving along. Again, this is the final game of C Squad qualifying. Those who are close are going to have to hang out the rest of the day and wait. Next squad coming up in just over an hour. Down on 7 and 8, Pete Seibel with the front 8, so we'll keep an eye on that. Everybody loves a nice 300 video. Seibel's run comes to an end in the 9th frame with a 9 count. PB3 up on lane 17. 8th frame, he can get to 211, so he'll need the rest of them here. Otherwise, no record gets that one. So Parker Bohn gets the one in the 9th. He still can get to 211. See what we can do. Some camera work here. because records are cool. They're also made to be broken. Parker, 2 strikes and count away from breaking his own 15-game record here at the Senior Masters. 37-12 is that number. Needs 206 here in the final game. Or today, he's having 1097 through his first 4 games, including 289 to start and 300 in game number 4. Last year, Parker entered match play as the #1 seed, finished in a tie for 13th place after going 4-2 in match play. Just a minute. See if we can't take a look over at Parker Bohn. Then we'll come back, watch the final couple frames here on our featured pairs. All right, there's Parker. Needs double and count, so possible 211 here. Gets the first one. 206 ties the mark. 207 to break his own 15-game pinfall record here in qualifying. Well ahead of the field here on C Squad. 700 over. Next closest was Brian LeClaire, just under 400. Parker now. And he gets the second one. And knowing Parker is a good guy, he's going to feel pretty good about his performance and the record, but knowing that after today, he'll just be one of 64 bowlers in the bracket. Pinfall irrelevant at that point. Just him and his opponent on a particular pair of lanes. This pair, 17 and 18, has not been too good to him here in game number 5. Final shot for PB3. All 10. Finishes with the last 5 for 211. and a 37-17 total. So breaks his own record by 5 pins. And now he'll get some rest, as it'll be a long wait until match play starts tomorrow at 9 a.m. Turn our attention back to our featured pair here. And there we are, back in action. Final few frames coming up here. String of strikes happening here on our featured pairs. Let's take a look at Mr. Terry Rohr and see if he's close. Terry in 94th place at plus 65. So even with a strong finish here, it's going to look like his week is going to come to an end right here on Bowl TV. Tony Johnson down to 134th place, so at plus 5, same fate for him. Robert Sampson, minus 81. So his tournament closing here in the final frame. Ron Schmidt, minus 154, so day over. Don Robinson at plus 94. Get to 219 here in the finale. Probably not going to be enough. Gary Allstott, minus 96. Glenn Morgan, minus 203. And Bobby Nelson, plus 93. Good effort here. Still can get to 254, so if Bobby can finish this off, some potential for sweating it out the rest of the day. Parker Bohn finishes the day with a 211 game. A 13:08, 5-game total. Breaks his own 15-game scoring record. Finishes with 37-17. 5 pins better than last year. Already took home 1 trophy today for being the high 5-game block yesterday. And if you'd like to see the complete standings, they'll be up very soon after this final game concludes. Bowl.com/Senior Masters. It's all there for you to enjoy. It'll be C squad through 5 games. I'm sorry, through 15 games, and A and B through 10. And it will be combined as the next 2 squads roll on. So in just over an hour, everything hopefully will work properly, and we will have A squad coming up next on the burn. 41-foot oil pattern, followed by B squad this afternoon on the double burn. Then we'll make the cut down to the top. 63 plus defending champion Pete Weber for our double elimination match play bracket. Bobby Nelson trying to make his bid for that double elimination bracket. Can get to 241 here. Will be about 135 over. And might be enough to at least have to sweat it out the rest of the day. But we appreciate everybody joining us. Apologize again for the software difficulties. The first couple games there. Hopefully everything's squared away for the rest of the day at least, and we can check on things later tonight. Got our final shot coming up here. Nelson finishes with 241. All right, final shot here. Don Robinson gonna wrap things up. Baby split 196. And folks, that is gonna do it for C squad here at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. 15 games in the books. Final standings for these guys will be posted very shortly. We look forward to having all of you back with us for our next squad coming up in 64 minutes. Until then, that is the news for now, folks. Matt Cannizzaro, we'll see you on the lanes.